Terry TOC, give a hand. Live streaming, all done by him.
Alright. So, to the speakers, right? What's going to be next after having a petition to call for investigation into the matter? Would there be something be done? Another protest? Having a petition, public petition? Maybe. Anyone have any idea?
No Leong want to answer.
Gilbert always sabo me. When there's a question that he knows nobody wants to answer, he always pass the mic to me. So I should just pass the mic to... But I think many Singaporeans will listen to what was said today. Singaporeans will share what they have heard today. They'll be talking in the coffee shops as they go to work, as they've been doing in the last few weeks. And as more people have a better understanding of the issues that we are grappling with, and it's just not about just to demolish or not to demolish a house, but many other much more serious issues like the rule of law, etc. So more people will talk, more people will demand that Singapore's reputation must move on and to be restored. Otherwise, if, like the 4th of July, we all take it that own self decide, no need to check own self is the end, then it's the end of us too.
There are two issues here. I just saw Facebook. It says a lot of people here are senior citizens. So I think one of the issues is to motivate the young, create awareness amongst the young that it's not just about economic livelihood, it's also about political space in Singapore. We need more political space in Singapore. It's far too long we have a one dominant party system. The second point is 70%, especially the HDB heartlanders, many of them, I don't think they are bothered by this kind of issues. As long as the People's Association, which is funded by our money, bring them to tour, subsidized tour, conduct courses for them, make them happy, they will always think these kind of issues are not for me, don't affect me. I think we have to educate them as well. These are my 2 points. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope after this, after there are thousands of viewers watching the video also, someone, a lot of, our citizens will come up to Gilbert, say, I want to participate, and maybe we can write a petition, and then we send it to the Istana, for the president to act and to call for a commission of inquiry. Because, as mentioned, the allegations are serious. Even if you are a pro-government supporters, it is good that we have a check and balance. So, in order for us to follow through, we need your support. We need people to come forward also to say that we are part of this. We want our government to be checked, and we want proper accountability. So with this, I hope more people will come up and say to Gilbert, Gilbert, I want to put my signature on the petition, and let us go and let us send this petition to the to the president and see what happens next. Thank you.
This is a private family matter. It's blown out of proportion. We've wasted a lot of time, and I think we should focus our time on solving the real problems affecting our economy.
I hope that when people listen to this protest, they would try to take ownership of the country back. For too long, the country has been dominated by PAP, and they can do what they want, like just call a parliamentary session just on a prime minister's personal issue. I think this should not happen, and we should take back what is rightfully the people.
What seriously need to be addressed now is the political system that we are all subjected to. Our office holders, the political office holders, should be subjected to the political system and not they becoming the political system themselves. That has to be corrected for the betterments of the country. Thank you.
Well, giving petition is not enough. I think the government will take care about it and sometimes don't care about our petition sometimes. But what we need is not just only petition. We need a heart, we need a spirit together to fight, to know that our petition is for real.
I think a petition is useful. It is an expression of the people's will as to what should be done. It shows the government that what happened in Parliament on the 3rd and 4th was totally inadequate. And I think it also expresses a strong desire by Singaporeans that at the end of the day, we are a society built on the rule of law, and we need the institutions and the safeguards to protect that. Thank you.
Okay, I hope that adequately answer your question, Terry. All right. And just a reminder, just now the question was, what are we going to do about it after this rally? And Lim Tian has already moved his project Freedom. Come and join his movement. I hope his movement takes off and see your support. Talking about support, okay. Gilbert and I we have spent a lot of time. We need a little bit of donation. If you are kind enough, please give us a bit of donation to defray this cost and so on. We are very grateful. Any small amount would do, okay?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think we also need, there's a question from here. Yeah, Goh Ming Sing, is it? Yeah, from the press? Someone from the press? From the press first. Anyone from the press with a question? Maybe today, is today here? Today. Are you here? Anyone from the press? If not, can we open to Singaporeans? Right? If you have a question from the floor. Oh, yeah, sir. Yeah, thank you.
I'm Lim Teck Kiam from Singapore, from Malaysia and then to Singapore. I'm a Singapore citizen at the age of 22. Now, I do my NS because of going to study in Polytechnic. And after Polytechnic, I work. I work and contribute taxes. And now, I'm jobless. I'm jobless for 15 years, and the government don't give me anything except the pioneer subsidies and then the normal GST voucher. Now, in China, I was told 10 over years ago that every citizen at the age of 60, they are given 100 100 RMB. Now they increase. And then in Singapore, I'm age of 74. I don't have any money, which I think $50 enough for me because I'm Ho Chia Ho Kun people. $50 is enough. Therefore, I think just because of we all are very rich, and then they talk about reserve and so on. Later on they talk about reserve. Give the people money first.
Okay, this question is slightly out of our topic today, all right? Okay, but never mind, we will just attempt to quickly answer it. You all heard what this gentleman say. He's out of job for 13 years. 15, all right? And he is a Singapore Polytechnic diploma holder. I mean, this is the situation in our country. You look at the plane that flew over just now. You know how much one of them cost? Any of you know how much one of the F-15 cost? 43 million US. Each US dollars, 43 million. And the last herd, we bought 40 over of them. Half of them in Singapore, half of them still in the United States. Now, you know how much money is that? The SDP has queried the government, and of course they have never replied, why are we spending so much on defense? So, if we have bought 2 planes less, we had have taken care of our old citizens, right? We only just need to buy 2 of those planes, 2 planes less. Instead of buying 40, I don't know exactly how much they bought. This is top secret. If we bought 38, that 43 million per plane, that is only the cost, excluding cost of training and spare parts, huh? That would have taken care of all our senior citizens.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, very heated up. Any question from a press here? Maybe from Citi? From the Japanese press? Citi? Here. Would you want to ask a question? I can't hear you. You have to ask it. Then you answer.
Sir, I hope you can tell us a bit more about the petition that you mentioned just now. More details about the petition.
Project Freedom. I think it was mooted that a petition to happen because some of us are asking what happened next. The next course of action is the citizen participation. Alone we can do so much, but together we can move mountains. So this is why I call upon the people to join us and approach Gilbert and say that I want to get involved. I want our government to be accountable, and I want to send a petition so that the president can call for a commissioner of inquiry.
The simple answer to all your questions and any other questions going to ask tonight is simple. No more secrets. If there's transparency, there's accountability, all your problems will go away. No more secrets. No more don't know how much of your CPF return they are taking away from you. No more how much of the HDB is charged to land and therefore they are making profits for you. No more secret as to whether the money that they collect from your MediSave contribution every year and the interest on the balances is more than what the government spends every year and what you withdraw. No more secrets. You have no secrets, all your problems will go away.
Okay, a question from our CPF speaker.
Good evening, my name is Raymond Yap. I have a little question about multiracial in Singapore. Now, all of a sudden, the president, they designate as a Malay race. Okay, that has been for the last few years since our last president was in term, Dr. Tony Tan. Now, why don't the government also think that we must have a Malay prime minister? Why must always be a Chinese be a prime minister? That is not multiracial. I'm sorry, I'm a Chinese. We don't care, you are Chinese, we are Malay, we are Indian, we are all Singaporean.
Well, this question, whoever answer, prepare for copy. Who want to answer? You Malay Prime Minister!
You see, this is the problem with our government. Recently, they have reserved the presidential candidate to be a Malay. Okay, personally, as a Malay, I feel insulted because they think that the Malay cannot contest on open election. You see, it is not the citizen who think that the Malays are a second-class citizen, but it is our government who put out for 50 years to say our Malay population is lagging behind. They are not able to contest and win in an open election. They are now better than last time. That is why we give them 2 ministers. See, these are condescending statements which they perpetuate to the people. And when they reserve a Malay candidate for president, I feel insulted. That's my personal view. So, as what the audience is saying, okay, if they are really concerned about having a multi-representation, why limit it to only a president? Why not prime minister? So this shows that the government is playing racial politics. And we know why. It is because to prevent a certain individual from contesting in the next general election, in the next presidential election.
Race is but one aspect of the problem. The other change must be CEO or executive chairman of a company with at least $500 million of assets. You know what that means? 99% of all the citizens do not qualify to stand for election as the president. For that matter, more than 95% of all the presidents in the world also wouldn't have qualified. Your right to political participation has been denied to you.
Very fierce answer. Okay, anyone from the press before I call my friend here? Press first? No? Wow, the press very quiet. So we give to the people, okay? Come, sir. Wow, Hom Lim Park veteran. Give him a hand.
I'm very much moved by Mr. Lim Tian, his speech. I think there's a lot of stuff, a lot of substance in it, and he did a lot of research. Prior to that, I also saw him on the Google Box. I think I came here because of the body count. But beyond the body count of which we are all a part, I think we should also have a voice vote, a voice count. In other words, come up here and say your piece. I'm not much of a public speaking person, but I just want to add one note, okay? The two parties, the two litigants to this property, 38 Oxley Road property, these two litigants should be at the lead of this, shall we say, this proposal by the people here to implore the government to set up a commission of inquiry. I think the two litigants, i.e. Mr. Lee Hsien Yang and Ms. Lee Wei Ling, because it concerns them, they should be the number one name and number two names on this proposal to have the government convene a commission of inquiry. Okay, if they are not at the list, top of the list, then why should we be doing this for them? They should be the ones to act because they are the main parties to this whole dispute. The other thing is, I was at the Parliament the other day. I was there for 2 days, 3rd and 4th of July. At the end of the second day, we all got up and said, shit, there is no closure. There's no closure at all. We go back with a deflated feeling, utterly deflated, okay? Okay, I don't want to say bad words, okay? What the, shh. No, what the hell, what the shit. But there is no closure. Because there is no closure, that's why we're here. We're here simply because there was no closure. So I think there should be a proper closure, whether it be a select committee, which I think at least 5 members of parliament, including one lady called, one fantastic lady, a young lady, 39 years old, she proposed this in parliament, in NMP, okay? But of course, the voices were drowned by the other speakers, the other MPs. So my proposal, Mr. Lim Tian, is if you are proposing this freedom project, have the two of them sign at the top of this plea, yeah, okay? Because it concerns them. If they don't sign, why the hell should we sign? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, one last or second last, because we have to close by 7. Okay, give her a hand. I can't hear you. You have to use the mic. Where are you from?
Gilbert, Sarah from AFP. So, well, we've heard all of your speakers talk about many issues. So, can you say in 2 sentences exactly what this protest is trying to do? Are you trying to effect for a change in government, or are you hoping for the government to make certain changes?
Wow. 2 sentences. I think basically the protest is for Singaporeans to voice out their displeasure around the abuse of power as alleged by the 2 siblings. And I think the way that they wrap it up in Parliament over 2 sittings is something that reinforces the fact that, wow, they are really in total control now of Parliament. Well, they can just clear themselves, own self check on self, own self clear on self, own self defend on self, sometimes own self shoot on self also. But don't quote me on that. So I think we are unhappy, right, Singaporeans? That's why you're here. We are unhappy, right? Yes, we are not happy. There's no closure, like my friend told me. Right, there's something that is just washed down the drain, something that we are not happy about. And this 8 speakers here has reinforced the fact that they are not happy too. And I want them to say their piece on this question listed by EFP. Dr. Ang.
Basically, we are asking for a COI, if you can judge what we are saying, a COI to clear the air, because appearing in Parliament on 3rd and 4th doesn't clear the air. You heard Patrick say there's no closure. So that's what we want, closure to the whole thing. Inderjit Singh, and I believe another MP had proposed, you have to lose some to gain some. In other words, they're proposing each side step back a bit, and then reorganize, and then agree on common terms. So whatever it is, there must be a closure. Personally, I'm looking for, as I said in my speech, greater transparency, greater accountability, and more political space, clearer boundary for Singaporeans.
Sarah, my answer to your question would be this. I think a major part, a major function of this rally today is to bring home the point that in Singapore today, we do not have robust enough a mechanism to ensure the rule of law. We may have our courts which will adjudicate on private disputes. But when allegations are made of abuse of power, there is no authority that is who's willing and daring enough to come out and say that a certain investigative process must take place. We cannot have a situation of the Prime Minister clearing himself in Parliament, an arena in which 83 out of 89 MPs belong to his party. And I think it is not a joke that as a country we are taking Goh Chok Tong's injunction of own self check own self too far. It has gone to the extent that his own Marine Parade Town Council now employs a cleaner who supervises himself. I think at some point we need proper checks and balances.
Maybe one really last question. Before 7, we have to close. Right. One last one from the press or the floor. Right. Before we go. Yeah, we will be back, right? I think all of them are hot fire on this issue, right? But we'll let you know. We probably have a second event. Speakers? Okay, probably. Yeah, we'll inform you. Any last question from my friend here? Wow. Okay. You? Come, you must come here. Else I can't hear. Give him a hand, Dr. Chan. Dr. Chan.
I was going to give a one-sentence answer to the AFP question. I think some of us want the government to change. Please hear us.
Wow. Okay, that one, very good snappy question, answers. One more before we go. That was the answer. That was the answer to a question. One more from anyone before we call it a night. Yeah, we are so happy, you know, there are 500 of you here. Right. Yeah, Dr. Ang.
In a way, the topics we have been discussing are actually not new. We have been talking about it for years. So in a way, we must thank Lee Hsien Yang and Lee Wei Ling. And they themselves tolerated 2 years, 3 months at least, 2 over years. They tolerated. They were hoping to reconcile with their older brother. But we waited 50 years. And they tolerated. In the end, they were forced to the corner. And because of the exchange between 14th of June and 2nd of July, I hope many Singaporeans are awakened. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Yeah, we have to close. Thank you, Singaporean.